Hi, Kate Paulin, your agent with heart, coming to you right here from the beautiful Flatirons, Boulder, Colorado. My target market, the Denver metro area, Colorado, USA. And who are we? We are a group of like-minded real estate professionals who like to start the week out right with positivity, prayer, and fun. And so don't worry if you're not licensed or working in Colorado. The principles that we talk about in this will be for everyone. So that's fine. They are universal principles. And we stand on this one Bible verse that hopefully would speak to you, which is Mark 11:24. Therefore, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe you have received it and it will be yours. And so we'll be going through an Ogmandino scroll, greatest salesman in the world. And we started studying this book called The Power to Change. And the scroll that we will read today is, scroll mark 3 is, I will persist until I succeed. I will persist until I succeed. Ogmandino says that 9 times in this one scroll. I was not delivered into this world in defeat, nor does failure course in my veins. I am not a sheep waiting to be prodded by my shepherd. I'm a lion, and I refuse to talk, to walk, to sleep with the sheep. I will hear not those who weep and complain, for their disease is contagious. Let them join the sheep. The slaughterhouse of failure is not my destiny. Failure I may still encounter at 1,000 steps, yet success hides behind the next step, behind the road, in the bend in the road. Always will I take another step. I know that small attempts, repeated, will complete my undertaking. I will remove from my vocabulary such words and phrases as quit, cannot, unable, impossible, out of the question, improbable, failure, unworkable, hopeless, and retreat. I will persist with knowledge that each failure to sell will increase my chance for success at the next attempt. I will try and try and try again. Each obstacle I will consider as a mere detour to my goal and a challenge to my profession. I will persist and develop my skills as a mariner develops his by learning to ride out the wrath of each storm. I will learn and apply another secret. The secret is, never will I allow any day to end with failure. Thus will I plant the seed of tomorrow's success and gain an unsurmountable advantage to those who cease their labor at a prescribed time. My harvest will be full. I will forget the happenings of the day that is gone, whether they were good or bad, and greet the new sun with confidence that this will be the best day of my life. So long as there is breath in me, that long will I persist. I will win. Good one. I'll be offering my personal Cliff Notes view of this chapter, as well as quotes from the author. I choose to learn and grow at life from a Christian worldview. Regardless of your spiritual beliefs, all are welcome to this mastermind. What speaks to me isn't necessarily what speaks to you in this chapter or in life. As we go through this study, consider the helpful suggestions offered by the author as life-giving words we can then speak into others. Let's not be a reservoir of knowledge, but a river of life. So who's this guy? Groeschel, author of Winning the War in Your Mind, a New York Times bestselling author, and founding and senior pastor of Life Church, one of the largest churches in the world, and creator of the free YouVersion Bible app. The book is The Power to Change. Are you frustrated by wanting to change some aspect of you, your life, your business, but your willpower weakens? Want to change but get spiritually, emotionally, physically, and mentally exhausted? Feeling shame for settling for less? Getting to the point of embarrassment and regret, forming an internalized sense of failure? Craig says that, as an example, he wanted to start eating healthy. By evening, he'd dip into the chips and then something sweet, and by morning, he felt terrible about himself. He points out that the problem is a deficit of power. I added this verse, Isaiah 40:29. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Quick overview to catch you up to speed. Craig's introduction to mastering the habits that matter most uses his life experience with trying to make positive change while being met with frustration, lack of willpower, exhaustion, powerlessness, embarrassment, and regret for not achieving it. We can relate to that. And then today we're on 1.1, today's study, which is why you do what you do. So from the introduction, if you weren't on the first call, it's important to really nail down these ideas in your head. But how often have you wanted to make change by starting or stopping something? I'm going to stop, insert word, stressing, worrying, being late, procrastinating. I'm going to start being content, losing weight, build my book of success, that kind of thing. So based on 2 Corinthians 5:17, therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come, the old is gone, the new is here. If you've been keeping a journal, maybe pull that out or grab a piece of paper. But so from last week, he said, lay some groundwork for the book and write down that which you want to start or stop again. So if you can think of something that you've wanted to start or stop doing, that you've had a hard time with, maybe write them down. So, but he says, with a clean slate. So even though you may have failed in the past, let's revisit it and see if we can't get it to work this time through the use of his methodologies. But don't give up on your dreams and goals due to past failure. Give yourself grace and a new beginning. So get out your paper and answer these two questions. Write down at least one start in which you want lasting change. Maybe you want to start reading your Bible daily. Maybe you want to start working out daily, something like that. And then write down at least one stop that you want to stop doing forever. I want to stop criticizing my partner, or I want to stop having a negative mindset. So can you think of anything, Chris?
I think right off the bat, I guess I really want to start prospecting again. You know, I'm doing a lot of service work, and I do have this like new stuff, new groups coming on and things like that. But I really was putting a lot of thought into it over the weekend, and I think I need to really kind of have a complete shift. And so ironically, Gary sent over a list of the top 100 companies in Colorado, and so that is my goal for this week, is to start reaching out to all of those.
Awesome. I like it. All right, well, get that down on paper.
Yes, absolutely.
So this chapter, why do you do what you do? Proverbs 27:7, for as he thinks within himself, so he is. That's the verse that he uses. And so based on this proverb, Craig suggests you do what you do because of what you think of yourself. You do what you do because of what you think of yourself. We choose the story we believe. We are who we are. Our character shapes thoughts about self and others and how we make decisions. And it's this psychiatric term, identity model of decision making, that's slightly problematic when we make decisions. For example, who am I? What situation is this? What would someone like me do to solve it? It's very like me oriented. And so let's say you have to make a decision about solving a money problem. And is your first words out of your mouth, oh, I'm just bad with money. And so you've already identified yourself as being someone who is bad with money. And I can relate to that. I mean, I feel like I find myself in situations where I'll maybe say that, like, oh, I'm just always late. I'm just the late person. I don't like that about me. Self-check. How would you define yourself and character? He doesn't go into this exercise, but I thought it would be important because if we want to know that we're making decisions based on who we think we are, it's good to know who you think you are. And so here's a list of character traits that I found on the handy dandy World Wide Web. And these are some that you could write down on a list so you'd know that this is who you are. But one is ambitious, creative, compassionate, patient, courageous, flexible, disciplined, resilient, persistent, conscientious, loyal, and a couple more on there that I can't see at the minute. So those are some positive ones. What about these negative ones? And I think these are the ones that really, if you can be honest with yourself, maybe put a few of these down if you can, but negative, judgmental, dishonest, rigid, rude, a lack of empathy for others, cynicism, reckless, picky, argumentative, quick to anger, bossy, self-centered, arrogant, greedy, stingy, sneaky, thoughtless, disruptive, conflict avoidant, lazy, impulsive, apathetic, lack of awareness, absolutist, where everything's black and white, manipulative, selfish, perfectionist, hostile, or aggressive. I think if you can look at those character traits and know, like, this is who you are, that's a good way of kind of knowing where to start from. So the exercise number 2 that he gave us in the chapter is this. In front of you is your list of stops and starts that you wrote down and what you think of yourself from the list you just made. So whether they're positive or negative or a mixture of both. Craig poses the question, looking at the items you want to stop doing, how is what you think of yourself motivating your inability to stop doing them? What's on the list of personality character traits you made about yourself that's driving your inability to stop that? Example, here's one that I made up. I want to stop procrastinating in my business. When I am busy with non-income producing activities, NIPs, I avoid confrontation with past clients on a phone conversation. So in that case, I'm being conflict avoidant. Or in his case, he wants to stop overeating. And I gave this example that I know is true for women. When I'm fat and ugly, it's the only way I can guarantee another partner won't hurt me because they're not going to be attracted to me. So they have this belief that they're unattractive and a fear of getting hurt. Or I want to stop drinking and drugging. The underlying self-belief is when I have stress and a hard day, it's the only way to cover the pain. So pretty deep concepts. Really maybe pray about this and jot some of these things down. So he gave us the exercise, which is you write down the word, when I can't stop, insert the stop. My underlying belief is, and write the underlying belief. So duplicate the sentences for each stop. Identify the why behind the what and identify the who behind the do. So example, when I can't stop being busy, my underlying belief is I'm not good at making phone calls. When I can't stop eating, my underlying belief is that I'm ugly. When I can't stop drugging, my underlying belief is that there's no other option. Really deep stuff, and the chapter is like 3 pages long, maybe. So principle 2 in the chapter is you do what you do because of what you think of yourself, what you think of you. Mark 10:27. Jesus looked at them and said, with man, this is impossible, but not with God. All things are possible with God. So yay, God is going to help us master the power to change. So join us for the next 26 episodes as we unwrap the power to change, how God's power, not our willpower, leads to true transformation. The real reasons you do what you do, why falling isn't failure, the power of creating small habits that lead to big change, and how to choose what you want most over what you want now. Whether you want to grow your business in sales, lose weight, get out of debt, read the Bible more, give up an addiction. The step-by-step strategies in this book will equip you to make the changes you long to make. Become who you really are, the successful real estate professional that I know you are. So that concludes it. Thanks for coming. Have a blessed day, and we'll see you next week.